Welcome to Cohesive Friendship Unit. My name is Chris. I'm here with Jeremy,
What's up?
Brian,
What's going on?
and Jake.
Hey guys.
Guys, the Game Awards 2019 are just around the corner. Every year, the show seems to get much, much bigger and much, much more impressive, and there are more exciting announcements, and it's just better each year. And we're going to talk about what we think might show up at the Game Awards 2019 for announcements, and then we're going to kind of just flip through the categories, the nominees, and maybe talk about who we might think wins. Again, we're not going to comb through every one, but we're going to highlight things that any thoughts that we have. But we're going to start with those predictions, and then we're going to go into the nominees. But real quick, we are doing a giveaway at 1,750 subs. We're giving away a Steam code for the Darksiders 2. So if you love us, please sub us. If you like the video, throw us a like, and let us know what you think is going to be announced down below in the comments. And maybe who you think is going to win Game of the Year. All right, guys. I want to start with Nintendo for the Game Awards announcements. Mostly because they almost always have an announcement. So, they will have an announcement at this show. Last year, they announced Joker for Super Smash Bros. And all the years prior, they did Zelda Breath of the Wild content. And we're kind of in a lucky place because we already know Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is in development. And we have one character left for the Smash DLC pack, and that character is guaranteed to come out by February. So, we're either going to see Smash, Zelda, or both, in my opinion. I want to know what you guys think.
Smash.
Yeah, Smash.
Smash. Get that last character.
Yeah, that seems like an easy one to put out.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're going to get both. I think we're going to get a tease for Breath of the Wild 2. And then, yeah, we're going to get the Smash character.
Do you think we'll see anything for the Metroid Prime trilogy get announced?
I personally do not.
Definitely not.
I think only because they have a history of showing Smash and Zelda. So
Right. I know they tend to save their big stuff for their directs, but there has been rumors of Metroid Prime trilogy stuff. So
yeah, I remember we
Obviously
talked
not
about
for-
these rumors at the last Game Awards.
yes, yes,
We literally did a year ago, and honestly, probably
and
2
then
years ago.
And then they delayed Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
So
Smash is low-hanging fruit. I think that they would save any truly big announcement for something where they could hog the press a little more. This is it fits with the release schedule. It'll be something to get them some attention. Makes sense.
Interesting enough, the first gameplay for Zelda Breath of the Wild was shown at the Game Awards, I believe 2015, before it had a title or anything.
do you think we'll see any gameplay for Breath of the Wild 2?
No, I think we'll just get I think we will get a little teaser. There was one Game Awards where they literally showed a 15-second clip of Breath of the Wild 2. So I think we'll get a super small teaser, but I think we all agree that Smash is happening, right?
Smash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this is the last of their first 5 character DLC pack. So I would, and the last character was Terry Bogard, who, I mean, I'm not, no shame on Terry, but he ain't that big. I think this one's gonna, I would think it being the last character and the last one that we got was a little, not underwhelming, but unknown, that this will be a bigger character.
It's gonna be the cart from Mario Kart. And you can do all the moves and that you can do in Mario Kart.
Norman
do
Reedus from
those.
Death Stranding.
Can power slide.
Brian,
that's
that joke is so off the wall, I could actually see that happening. That's like some Duck Hunt 2
But
shit.
We got
think
Piranha
about it,
Land.
Piranha Plant.
literally everybody is in fucking Smash. Everybody. Yeah, it's gonna be something really bizarre. It's
Yeah, well, the only thing I will say is every character has been third party, so I think that trend's going to continue. Do you guys have
agree.
any guesses?
yeah, because they've run out of their own IP. There's 1 billion people in Smash now.
Who? I mean, they've already given us Banjo. Like, that seems like what you would release last if you were trying to save the most impactful. Like, who is even left that's highly requested?
I have a guess.
Just throw it out there.
So I think Banjo is fan wanted.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be both big, third party, and unexpected. Like good. Like what? Like, you know, blow people's minds. Like, so I am gonna guess. Like you said, referencing Banjo, we have a Microsoft rep. I think we're gonna get a Sony rep.
No way.
I think we're getting Ratchet and Clank.
Nope.
You heard it here first. That's just me.
Never gonna. Nope. Definitely not.
That's just me.
That's
0%
big.
chance.
That's just me. I'm putting
No.
my money on it.
Nope. Banjo had a history on a Nintendo console, and Microsoft is not in good shape, so they're happy to spread the love around. It's the same reason that they do that, the cross-platform online with PC and Switch, and Sony doesn't. Sony is like on top of the world. They don't have to play with the other kids. They can just keep all their IP to themselves.
Joker has
How
barely
would it-
been on a Nintendo console.
Yeah, but he has, and it's not. Ratchet and Clank is Naughty Dog, right? No, who is it?
Insomniac?
Insomniac?
It's a first-party studio.
Yeah, it's like very closely associated with Sony. That is a major mascot for them. They're not going to just give that up.
All right, I'm just saying.
Especially since they've tried to make their own version of Smash before, and I don't think that they're 100% done with that idea.
I was just going big. I was going big.
That would be big.
That would be big.
That would be big. Although, if we're gonna say like things associated with Sony, I think Jack and Daxter. I don't know.
Ooh, that
That
would
would be cooler and/or maybe bigger.
that would be fire. And like to an extent, Snake is very closely associated with Sony, so we do have kind of a Sony rep. Same with Cloud, because that game was PlayStation 1 exclusive for a long time.
But Cloud is from Square.
I know,
and
but
Square
like,
Enix does games for Nintendo, just like Konami did games for Nintendo, and Snake had been on a Nintendo game.
I know they help like spread the feeling, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Any other guesses besides Mario Kart and?
I legitimately think Mario Kart, the kart, is more
Yeah,
likely than
That
Ratchet.
could
and
it
Clank.
could totally happen. That would be
The kart
yeah.
from Mario Kart.
it'd be perfect.
I literally can't even think of like another major mascot to ask for.
It's gonna be so, like there's so many franchises already represented. It's gonna be.
I think it's just going to be some zany shit that is going to be a letdown. I think it's not going to be the kart from Mario Kart, but it's going to be like Stuart from the Stuart Little video game.
I could see like Rayman or Lara Croft or.
Oh,
like,
Rayman would be cool. Oh, it might be Rayman. That would be cool.
Rayman would be dope.
Yeah. Well, all right. I think we've dwelled on Nintendo. I know that they're gonna have something, so I thought we'd talk about it. Sony and Microsoft, they don't announce a lot at these historically, and this is kind of like we've been talking about the stopgap between PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Scarlet, PS5. So I'm not sure what there is to see except Sekiro, or not Sekiro, the other game, Ghost of Tsushima. That game doesn't have a release date yet from Sony.
Still coming.
And on Microsoft's side, they did show some stuff at EXO 2019, which makes me doubly think we will not see more stuff.
Yeah, we saw a lot of stuff at EXO 19, so a lot of their studios put out something about what they're working on, so I don't think we'll see much.
All right. Any thoughts on Microsoft or Sony, Brian or Jeremy?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't have any thoughts on that.
All right. I think we're good. So the next thing I want to do is just open it up to any other possible announcements. I have 3 personally that we can shoot down, like my Ratchet and Clank. No, these are much more realistic.
I will if I have to.
Yeah, I respect that. So first is Resident Evil 3 Remake. That kind of leaked today, as of the day we're recording it, so I'm gonna kind of assume it is happening. And since it's leaking kind of close to the Game Awards, I think there's a decent chance that it will happen at the Game Awards.
Seems reasonable.
All right. I like that. We got one reasonable. That's better than absolutely no. The second one I have is that we will see a little bit more of Half-Life Alyx, only because the Game Awards 2019, like the Game Awards YouTube channel or whatever, officially kind of unveiled it at the same time as Valve. There was like a 20-minute interview that the Game Awards had with Valve, like the second the trailer launched. So they're in partnership. It seems like it would be weird to be in partnership 3 weeks before the show and then not do any.
Sure. I mean, like, yeah, if you get the relationship there.
Yeah, like they already...
And there's like a whole VR section. How long have they had a VR category?
That's a good question, because I don't really remember it from past years. But it's yeah, like, yeah, they could squeeze it in when they're doing the VR Game of the Year.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah. And Resident Evil 2 Remake is nominated for a bunch of stuff. They could also squeeze in a Resident Evil 3 trailer during one of, whenever that gets attention.
Yeah.
All right. The last one's the most bombastic, so we'll chill. So Jeff Keighley is a huge Kojima friend, and we've seen a lot of Death Stranding from the Game Awards 2018, 17, etc. I think we might get a tease for the next game.
Nope.
Totally cryptic, totally like 20 seconds.
It just came out like a month ago.
Yeah, I know.
That would be saying, hey guys, I know you didn't like this game, but what if you got ready for the next game?
Bruh, not all.
He's going into movies anyways, so
yeah, he's not making games anymore.
Maybe it'll be a movie trailer.
Type movies now.
Yes,
that would be hilarious if he put out a movie trailer at the Game Awards.
That would low key be funny.
We got a trailer. Okay, the Shape of Water movie trailer was announced or shown at the Game Awards. The premiere.
The Death Stranding movie. The first Strand type movie.
I'm just saying it would not be the first time we've gotten a movie trailer premiere at the Game Awards.
Well, do you think it'll be a movie trailer or a game trailer?
I don't know. He low-key tweeted about maybe doing a horror game, but he also said he's gonna make movies, so who knows?
Who knows what he's gonna do?
He needs
I don't
to
think
lay
we'll
off
be
the
hearing
pipe. Like he's saying some crazy shit.
Well, he thinks that we can't understand his games, Brian.
He says that he doesn't understand his game. So what does that tell you about his game?
I like it. All right. Well, that's I think the most crazy idea that I had.
There's also been rumors swirling of a new Batman game coming out. There was a tweet from the developer with it was like a 6-second clip of emblems and that kind of thing. So it seems like there's a new Batman game in the works. I don't think any of us are really into the Batman franchise that much, but I know those are big games. So maybe we'll see something like that.
There's also that Harry Potter game that we covered and then got removed immediately. That was the fastest growing video we ever had.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll talk. But yeah, I mean, I could see Batman, and the reason I brought up the other one, Harry Potter, is because they're the same Warner Brothers,
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't heard a lot about the Harry Potter game, so I'm wondering if we'll either hear something, either that it's in progress or it is canned.
How much are we allowed to continue talking about that, or do we have like a quota per video that we're not allowed?
I won't show footage.
The game which must not be named.
As long as I like that. As long as the video's not for kids, we're good, Brian.
All right. There's some videos for kids and there's some videos for dads.
And this is a video for dads.
Yes, it is.
All right. So, any other thoughts on possible game? I know it's hard to pull a game out of your ass, but all right.
For announcements?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right. Sounds good. Well then, the last thing I want to do is just kind of go through some of the categories, like all 7 of the esports ones and talk about every single person in every single venue. No.
Yeah.
I do just want to like touch on any categories that we particularly want to talk about and any games that we think might have been snubbed or whatever. We're going to have our own Game of the Year thing later in the year, all 3 weeks of it. But I guess we'll start with Game of the Year and then we'll kind of open it up. So the Game of the Year noms are Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Smash Ultimate, and The Outer Worlds. Any games that we think might have needed to show up? Any strong feelings for any of these? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but I don't think Smash belongs in there.
I agree.
To be perfectly honest, like, what is different about that game? That, like, I'm not saying that I don't enjoy Smash, and I'm not saying that I don't think it's a great franchise, because, like, it kind of is. But what is so different about this Smash?
I would say,
like, it has to be Game of the Year.
This Smash is by far the most. I mean, there's like over 1,000 songs. There's every character. There's 80
there's a
characters.
lot of songs in it, and there's a lot of characters, and the characters are yeah, but like that's great. It's just kind of the inevitable conclusion of Smash. Like, the game it's a fighting game. You fight other people. There's not really.
Yeah, I agree, and I just find it hard to put esports up for Game of the Year. I've had this this is just a weird thing that I butt heads with. It's just hard for me to put esports games up for Game of the Year because you judge them totally differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and along those lines, we were talking a little bit before this that I think a lot of these games, it's hard to pick a Game of the Year for this year because a lot of these games don't seem like they were that incredible, that new, that amazing, anything like that.
Yeah, usually it's like a runaway or between two. Like 2018 was Red Dead 2 versus God of War for most people. 2017 was Mario versus Zelda for a lot of people. There's usually like two definitive guys out there.
Yeah. And this year, I mean, Control, I didn't play Control, but I know what the game was about and what they did, and it's kind of, they took some amazing steps forward for what they did. Death Stranding, currently playing that. I don't think that deserves Game of the Year. I don't know.
And then Resi 2 is, it's more than just a remake because you're taking something that had been a much older game and updating it into a totally, it's fundamentally a different game, just with the same kind of story, but it's still in a way a remake. Smash at this point almost feels like a remake because it's not that different than the previous entries. They're not really introducing new mechanics.
Like a lot of the stages are
Yeah, it's just better and with more characters. Outer Worlds, I really like, but I don't think it's Game of the Year quality. It has, some obvious kind of shortcomings, and it's not particularly revelatory. Kind of a weak year.
Yeah, I mean, from this list, from what I've played, I would probably pick Death Stranding just from what I've played.
Yeah, but dude, you're all about that shit.
I know. And a lot of the reasons I would pick Death Stranding is because of the things we talked about. Like Resident Evil 2 is a remake, which makes it hard for me to nominate for Game of the Year. It feels almost like cheating. And
I would say the same thing about Smash.
Well, yeah, in Smash, like we said, we already covered that. It's an esport, which I personally find hard to put in the it's hard to compare a literal esport to Death Stranding, which is...
But it's not even a new esport. I think when, not that Fortnite is an esport, but if a new game had come out, when Overwatch was first released, you could certainly argue that would have been the game of that year. But you can't even say really that Smash was quote unquote released this year. It's pretty much the same game that it's been since Melee. It hasn't changed almost at all.
Yeah, well, but again, that's why it would, based off of what I've played, which is 4 of these games, in this list, I would pick Death Stranding. That's why I would pick it.
Yeah. Which do you think is going to win?
I think Sekiro or Death Stranding.
I think Control.
Yeah.
Which is strictly a process of elimination vote.
I think Control is it's like a high art concept like Death Stranding executed better from what I've heard, as a game.
Yeah, but
as a
this
video.
Death
that's my
Stranding
rationale.
is so much hype, and when you put out all that hype, you have to live up to it, and this doesn't really sound like it did. Not
Right.
having played it, it doesn't really sound like it did.
I agree. If you could add one game to this category, and if you have an immediate answer, what would you add? I would add Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Risk of Rain 2.
Risk of Rain 2. No, that's a good pick.
Metro Exodus.
I didn't play anything else that came out this year.
All right. Fair enough. So yeah, I mean, the only other category I personally wanted to talk about was some of not even category. I just noticed that a game, Gree, has been nominated for a lot. That's a really good game. It's like a 3-hour game. I've made videos about it, and it has a really good art style, and it's up for a lot of indie games. And then the only other thing I personally want to talk about is that, like, I think Fire Emblem kind of got shafted a bit. But were there any categories or games that you wanted to discuss?
Yes.
Okay.
I just want to, I don't know if it's a full-on discussion, but I did want to briefly shout out in the performance category, Ashley Birch as Pravarti Hokum from The Outer Worlds. I have for many hours, I'm about 30 some odd hours into the game now, and I thought she did such an excellent job voice acting Pravarti. I think the voice acting in general in Outer Worlds is really, really good. And she in particular is she is such a nuanced character, such a well-developed character, and I think she this voice actress has done a really terrific job bringing her to light. I say this as someone who hasn't played any of the other games in which people are nominated here, but it's like maybe the best voice acting in a video game that I've played. So that's all.
I'm glad you hit on the performances, because this year we have a lot of really good voice actors. In previous years, I think there was always one standout, like Christopher Judge last year for God of War. And then
Whoever did Zelda for Breath of the Wild, right?
I'm forgetting the name of the actress, but the one that did... now I'm forgetting the name of the game. One with the by audio in your headphones.
Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had standout voice actors every single year, and I think this year almost everyone in this category did a fantastic job with their roles.
Yeah, I didn't play Control, but I've heard 4 of the 6, and they are all good.
Yeah, they all did really well. And even like we were kind of bashing on the Gears actress, but she did a great job despite like her character. Gears characters in general are not, deep characters, but she did a great job with her character as well.
I do think there's one game that we would all agree is being shafted, in that it was not nominated for anything. That's Risk of Rain 2.
I'm not surprised though.
No, I said Game of the Year, honestly.
I'm surprised it wasn't up for like an indie game or
Best multiplayer,
something like that. Even best multiplayer, yeah, because that was...
Let's remember that PUBG was up for Game of the Year 2017. Game of the Year 2017.
Well, but
And that game sucks.
if you don't take Game of the Year to mean best Game of the Year, if it was just like a defining sort of game, then that makes sense. But that's not what this is.
No.
I think it just comes down to Risk of Rain, isn't a game that a huge number of people are playing. Now that said, some of these indie games like Katana Zero or Baba Is You, I'm not familiar with, but Goose Game has obviously blown up. I've seen people talking about Disco Elysium. Outer Wilds is nominated in a ton of categories. I think it just comes down to not that many people are still playing Risk of Rain 2, which is too bad because I think it's an excellent game. But I'm not really surprised that it wasn't nominated.
I agree. I was just saying that I think it got shafted.
I think
in a just world, I suppose.
Yeah, I think enough people just aren't playing it. I think it'll take some time. Once it's fully out, once they've got all the content that they've planned out, and they can maybe upgrade from like just 3 guys. It I think it has the potential to take off because you're not. It's addicting. Like it's everything that a video game should be, and you're not really losing your audience with a game like that. So
And
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
it's a fair point that the game's not technically out yet, so I don't know if it can be nominated as an early access game.
I believe
think
it
it
can
can.
because PUBG
Yeah.
didn't go to 1.0 soon enough, and there are boxed copies. The console version is technically released,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
so it's on like a different.
There are
ske-
box copies of Risk of Rain.
There are.
Yeah, I think they just came out a couple weeks ago.
They did.
What?
Yeah.
Anyways, are anything else we want to talk about? I'm personally pretty satisfied.
Yeah, actually, this is more of just a VR opinion from you, Chris. Since we cover a lot of VR, there's a VR category this year. There's some good games in there like Beat Saber, No Man's Sky. In general, what do you think of the VR games that were nominated this year, or just this year in general?
Yeah. So I mean, I think if you look at this year, the one thing to take home is there are big VR games now, right? No Man's Sky is you can spend quite a bit of time in there. That's fully in VR, multiplayer and everything. Asgard's Wrath is a 40-hour RPG. That's in VR. There's another Oculus first-party game which must have just missed the deadline, but that's another like long VR game. So I think, and not again like Trover Saves the Universe, very, small game. Beat Saber, small game. Blood and Truth, small game, or smaller game. But the takeaway is VR. There are bigger titles showing up on these lists now, and they're not AAA titles yet, but they're getting there. Like I think this is the AA title year, and next year we'll be seeing games like Half-Life Alyx, Medal of Honor. That's I think this is like we're in the AA, AAA next year. But all good games. Or from what I've played half of them. Cool. All right. Anything else? I think we're pretty good.
That's it from me.
Yeah, we're good.
Well, that's it for all of us. What should our Game Awards fans be doing right about now, Brian?
Well, if you're a Game Award fan that happens to live in London or pretty much any part of Europe, and you're considering raging all night and then watching the Game Awards when they air live at 1:30 a.m., it's rather inconsiderate. And that, go ahead and let us know your thoughts on that down in the word box there. And like Chris said at the beginning of the video, we're giving away a copy of Docksider 2. Get yourself a nice pair of Sperry's there. It's 1,750 subs, so go ahead and click that subscribe button, because, if you watch this far in the video, you probably liked it, and we do have a veritable shit ton more content like this right here on the Cohesive Friendship Unit channel. And, smoke them if you got them, guys. That's all for me tonight, Chris.
Thank you, Brian. Catch you guys next time.